Hey everybody, welcome back to Andrew McDonald English. This is lesson 6, and today we're going to be going over the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. So these are the other two tenses of the English past tense. So to start, before we do the perfect tenses, we're actually just going to look at the base ones, the past simple and past continuous first, just to do a little bit of warm-up. Okay, so the past simple. As we talked about in lesson 5 in the last video, the past simple is simply just a action that happened in the past, one action in the past. So let's say if the action was to talk, like I'm talking, I talk. Past simple would be I talked. Right? So the past simple would be I talked because that's just a one specific action that happens in the past. The past continuous is a little bit similar, and it would have been I was talking. Okay, take a look at these two. I talked and I was talking, the past simple and past continuous. In the perfect tenses, what we'll do today, the past perfect and past perfect continuous, it mirrors this. So let's look first at the past perfect tense. So this is how you form the past perfect. You take had and you add the past simple. That's it. You take had and you add the past simple. When does it used? This is used for a specific action that was finished before another past action. So one action, specific action that has a start and an end, that was finished before another past action. So let's look at a couple examples. There are a few types. The first one is with the ed regular verbs in the past simple. So in the past simple, you would use some verbs that are regular. You just add the ed ending to the end. Now this one is the same, just with the verb had. So to say here, you'd say I had, and then take the past simple would have been walked. I had walked. Down here, same thing. I had played. But let's look back at the use. This is used for a specific action finished before another past action, right? So in this sentence, I had played should end with something like I had played before I ate dinner. Because this ate dinner is in the past. It's a past action, but the I had played was before the dinner. So if you were to take out a timeline, it would look something like this. Here is now. Here is ate dinner. And here is the play. I had played before I ate dinner. Okay. So now that you have the idea of when to use this form, let's just look at some of the others. There are irregular verbs, and there are quite a few. These ones are the same as the past simple, exactly. So, for a verb like I put or I shut, it would become simply I had put and I had shut. Now, these are essentially exactly the same form, just with the had. It uses the past simple word. And over here is a list of some of the others which would be exactly the same. there's no real change. You just take the past simple form as the past participle for this. Then, of course, there are ones that are different. So, non-ed verbs that are different than the past simple are actually quite common, unfortunately, which makes this a little bit hard, but it's not too bad. A popular one is I go. I go. And for here, the past perfect would be I had gone. I had gone. Now, gone is different than the past simple, which is went. However, I had gone is how you would say it if it was before a past action. So I had gone to his house before it was late, for example. Same as before. I had gone to his house before it was late. This action happened first, then this action, and then the present. And then another common one is for to be. We are would become we had, been. We had been. Been, some people pronounce been. Been is the past participle for be in this case. So the past perfect tense is not too easy to figure out. It does take quite a bit of practice, which is why I linked a Quizlet below in the description that I really recommend you look at for these irregulars especially. The ed verbs, same exact thing as we covered, just add the had. I walked, I had walked. These verbs listed over here are exactly the same, but then these verbs here, these take quite a bit of practice. So please see the Quizlet below to study these irregulars. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice with this before we move on, because it isn't easy, I understand. So this is the same sheet as before, however, now we're actually going to be using the past perfect, like above. So let's do a couple together, and then you'll go ahead and complete the sheet. So, number 1, Billy blank a book with his sister on Sunday before tea. Now, the first thing you always want to do is make sure you have had. Had. And then the verb that they give you is read, and the past of read is read. So Billy had read a book with his sister on Sunday before tea. Okay, this is one of the ones that stays the same as its past simple. So same as past simple. We'll do 2 more, one that changes, that's an irregular, and another that's an ed that stays very similar to its past simple. Now, let's look at number 2. Billy blank a dictionary in class on Tuesday. And the verb they give you is see. See. So this one is an irregular. And so this one changes in its past simple is saw. So the past simple would be Billy saw a dictionary. However, for here, the past perfect would be Billy had seen. Billy had seen. This one is an irregular that changes. And for ones like this, please look in the Quizlet below. It's the best way to memorize these kind of words. Let's do one more. We'll do one more, and this one is actually a regular verb. Number 3. Billy blank an argument with his sister on Sunday after breakfast. And the verb they give you is start. Start. So this is a regular. So after you put had, you need to think of the past simple for start. But it's a regular, so all you do is the verb with ed. So it's just Billy had started. So these are the three types. In past perfect, you always put had. Always put had. Then there are the ones that are the same as their past simple, which like this, read. There are the regular verbs that have the ed form. Those stay the same as well. And then there are the irregulars that change, like seen. To see, the past simple is saw, but it changes to had seen. So those ones, again, I can't recommend enough, are below in the Quizlet, and I really think you should have a look. So please go ahead, go through all of these questions, pause the video, and once you're done, resume, and we'll come back and look at them together. Okay, now that you've gone through these, let's correct these all together. So, number 4, Billy blank breakfast on Monday at 7:20. And the verb they give you is cook, cook. So cook is just a regular verb, just a regular. So just like in 3, it would be had. And then you just take the verb, add ed, and that's it. Why? Because you do had and then the past simple. Had and past simple. And this past simple is just cooked because it's regular. Now, number 5. Billy blank his friend about his new dog on Friday at lunchtime. Now, this one is also a regular. There's no star over here, so you know it's regular. And just like above, it would be had, take the verb call, and then add ed. Ed. Okay, number 6. Billy blank late for school on Tuesday. Now, this one is be. Be. So the past simple would be Billy was late for school on Tuesday. However, in the past perfect, you always start with had. And as we saw above, to be is one of the ones that changes to been. Billy had been late for school on Tuesday. This one changes. So how about number 7? Number 7 says, Billy blank a gold bracelet in the park on Wednesday. And the verb they give you is find, find. So this one, Billy had. This one is irregular, but it is the same as its past simple. It doesn't change. Billy had found. Just like the past simple would be Billy found a bracelet, Billy had found a bracelet is one of the ones that doesn't change. How about number 8? Billy blank his sister with her homework on Tuesday night. Okay, the verb they give you is help. Help. Now, this one, you start with adding had, and then it's regular, so you simply take the verb itself and add ed. Billy had helped his sister. Okay, this one is 9. Billy blank to the cinema on Wednesday evening, and they give you go. Now, this one is one of the irregulars that does change. The past simple would be Billy went to the cinema. However, this past perfect, you start with had, and it would be, as we saw above, Billy had gone to the cinema. Billy had gone to the cinema on Wednesday evening. Number 10. Billy blank around the park 10 times on Saturday morning, and they give you walk. This one is just regular. Just add the ed, so it would be Billy had walked. Number 11. Billy blank rugby for an hour on Monday after school, and they say played. This is exactly the same. Billy had played. Billy blank a new bike on Thursday afternoon. And the verb they give you is get. Now, this is another one where it is an irregular and it changes. So if it was past simple, they would say Billy got a new bike. However, past present would say Billy had gotten a new bike. Billy had gotten a new bike. 13. Billy blank ill on Tuesday before breakfast. And they give you be. Just as before, it would be Billy had been. 14. Billy blank his teacher a gift on Thursday at 8:15. And the verb they give you is to give. And this would be another one where it would change. Now, the past simple would say Billy gave, but here it would say Billy had given. And last but not least, build Billy blank a model of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Build would be Billy had built. This is one of the ones that would stay exactly the same as the past simple. The past simple would say Billy built, and the past present would say Billy had built. Okay, please go through, check all these answers. These will also, of course, be linked below in the description, but just check through, make sure you got these right. The best way I'd recommend to learn these would be to use that Quizlet I keep talking about below, because it will be so helpful for all these irregular forms. So now we'll continue with the past perfect continuous. So just like there is past simple and past simple continuous, as we saw above, there is past perfect and then past perfect continuous. Now, past perfect is an action finished before another past action. Past perfect continuous is the same thing, but the action was continuous. A continuous action that happened before another past action. So let's look at some examples here. Okay, this one is I had been working at the bank before I quit. So on the line, here is now. This is now. This is when I quit. And then this is when I was working at the bank. It's not one action, it's a long stretch, a continuous action. So, same here. They had been living in Boston before they graduated. Here is now, they graduated here, and they had been living in Boston before, for a long period. Not just one independent action, a long stretch. So, let's look at the format real quick. The way you form the past present continuous is had been plus the verb plus ing. Had been plus the verb plus ing. So, these examples show that as well. They had been living, I had been working at the bank before I quit. I had been working at the bank before I quit in the past. So that brings us in. Now we have finished the past tense. That brings us here to the past tense timeline where all of these can be shown together. So the past simple is just a general item that describes the past in a specific action. I went to school. I went to school. Past continuous, as we talk, is at that specific point. Right now, I am going to school. I am going to school now. That is a specific speaking in the moment. Now, these other two, the ones we looked at today, past perfect. I had gone to school. I had gone to school. A specific action that happened here that started and ended in the past before now, as right here is now. Started and ended in the past, one specific action. Past continuous also started in the past and ended in the past, but is a long stretch, a gradual, continuous action. Not the past perfect is 1 point. The past perfect continuous is a long stretch. Okay, this is very important to really try to understand. So, one more time, past simple, action in the past. Past continuous, action in the past in the moment. Action in the past in the moment. Past perfect, action that started and ended in the past, 1 moment. Past perfect continuous, action that started and ended in the past, but there was a long period of time in between them. Okay, so we looked at the past perfect continuous, how to form it with had been plus the verb plus ing. So now let's look at some examples down here. This sheet should look familiar. It'll say, let's do number 1 together. Billy blank a book with his sister. Okay, so this one would just be Billy had been reading. Because for past perfect continuous, all you do is put had been, take the verb, and add ing. So please go ahead and go through these it's only 5 more, and pause the video. We'll continue this after. Okay, now that you've completed these past perfect continuous verbs, let's go through and look at them together. Number 2, Billy blank a dictionary in class every day. This would be Billy had been seeing. Same as before, had been, verb, see, ing, had been seeing. That means that from one point to another point, maybe it was a few weeks, a few days, a period of time, he had been seeing this dictionary, but now he doesn't. That happened all in the past. Billy blank an argument with his sister, and they give you start. Billy had been starting. Number 4, Billy blank breakfast every day. Billy had been cooking. Billy blank his friend about his new dog. Call. Billy had been calling. And last one, Billy blank late for school every day, and they give you be. Now this one would be a little bit different. This one would just be Billy had been. Because been, Billy had been, this is be. This is the past perfect for be. So you just put Billy had been late for school every day. Please take a look at these. These ones are much easier to form because they're all the same. Had been, verb, ing. Had been, verb, ing. All of them. The past, these ones are not too hard. The past perfect, on the other hand, those are a little harder. Okay, so with that completed, that concludes our lessons on past tense. If parts of this video didn't make sense, I recommend you also watch lesson 5 before this, because that gives a lot of context on the past simple and past continuous, which you should know before learning these. However, that concludes our video, so please, as always, subscribe, especially if you found these helpful. This sheet with all of the work, all written out and fully blank, is as always below in the description. So please make use of that. Again, I highly recommend the Quizlet underneath as well to study. So please go through, do those, and as always, thank you so much for watching.